Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted to be joined by Tasha Jonas. Tasha, I didn't get you in Dubai. I was over in Dubai for that combat team event, but you snuck away, I believe. But I've got you now here at the Joe Gallagher Academy. Now, we were just upstairs. We had Judy Murray. We had the driving force who you were in the first season. It's about, obviously, well, you tell me, what's it about this driving force and getting the young girls in the sport? Just break down everything that was happening today.
It's just, promoting, celebrating and empowering young women in sport and everybody that goes with it, whether that's coaches, family, whoever that is, everyone needs to be celebrated as part of helping young women achieve and succeed.
The thing as well is, it was mentioned a little bit there with Joe and everybody that sometimes with the quote-unquote masculine sports, the rugby and the boxing side of thing, a lot of young girls might feel apprehensive to get through that gym door because it is a male-dominant sport in terms of the masculinity and all that sort of stuff. But you've done it. You've done it a long time ago. Well, sorry, I know your age was brought up a couple of times. I'm not doing it, but you've done it way before this. Like these young girls here, obviously started. But how nervous were you when you first went through that boxing gym and you seen all this boxing? There was blood, the sweat, and old-style boxing gyms. They stunk. They stink like, you know what I mean? The smelly gloves and stuff like that. A lot of women might not like that, but you done it. How did you feel?
Like anything new, it's always daunting. You go in there with expectations of what it's going to be like, and 99% of the time, it's never ever what you expected. And it's brilliant to see how far boxing's come along. You go into gyms now, you're probably not the only girl in the gym, more than likely. But it was daunting, and like you say, you go in there with preconceptions of what it's going to be like, and it just wasn't like that. And I think I was a little bit older, as we've mentioned.
Not me.
And I'd come from a football background, so I'd kind of been through that whole, the last one picked because she's a girl. I'd kind of done all that before, and it was what it was. And I was lucky enough to be well supported by the lads in the gym, by the coaches in the gym, and yeah, the Rotunda made me who I am.
Do you feel any pressure? Obviously, the girls, all the young girls were in the front row listening to you talk. Do you feel any pressure to be that role model for these young fighters coming through? Especially, you can see them right now. A lot of these, you probably don't even know it. They probably don't even say it to you, but they probably look up to you as a role model. And I want to be like Tasha Jonas. I want to go to the Olympics like Tasha Jonas. I want to fight for that world title like Tasha. Do you feel any sort of pressure with these young girls looking up to you?
No, because they all want to be like Nicky Adams, according to Liv. But no, you never go in with that. Like I said upstairs, my family are very well at keeping me grounded, and to quote unquote stay humble and all that, but you don't ever see yourself. I didn't think, right, I'm going to get into boxing and I'm going to become this big role model. It's just kind of what kind of comes with it. I just try and be myself, stay true to myself, and be the best person that I can be without bringing anybody down. So yeah, that's all it is. And I don't feel any pressure, but I do think it's important to set a good example, and if you've got a platform, use it positively, and that's what I try and do.
Obviously the girls do look up to you, and they're probably a fan of yours as well, so they're all probably thinking what I'm thinking. When's Tasha Jonas' next fight?
Hopefully I can be on the undercard of Brook. We're just working out a few finer details, and I'll be able to announce something soon.
You're in a tough division in that women's division. It's stacked, the super featherweight division and stuff. Michaela Mayer, I think Terry Harper's still there. I don't know if she's moved up or what. Boomgarden, I think's thereabouts. It's a tough old division. Again, you fought for that world title twice. You came up short. Third time lucky. Is that the goal for this 2022? Is that the goal, to get that world title shot but have it around your waist this time? Yeah,
100%. When I went and spoke with Boxer, I told them what my aspirations are. I told them what I wanted to do. I told them what I wanted to have before I left boxing, and they agreed that they could get me that, and now they've got to deliver.
No pressure on them then?
No pressure at all.
I've got to talk about Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. It's not official yet, it's not been made, but we're hearing good noises coming out from both camps that this might be a fight that's happening. You've been in the ring with Katie Taylor, amateur and professional. Amanda Serrano, been there, done it, been an MMA fighter and stuff like that. Could this be the biggest female fight in the history of boxing? And what's your thoughts on the fight itself?
I think there's two fights that most boxing fans are drawn into. Taylor Serrano is probably up there, like that's massive. and then Shields and Marshall. For me, it'd be Shields and Marshall, but Taylor and Serrano, I just think, yeah, you know, when two greats fight each other, there's an expectation that the fight's going to be amazing, and I think, you know, the styles make fights, and I think Serrano, as amazing as Taylor is all wrong for Taylor.
Well, really, do you think that Serrano might pull this off? And do you think it's just her come forward aggression like we've seen with the Pursoon first fight, that maybe if you just keep coming forward at Katie, you can put her off her game a little bit? Do you think Amanda Serrano's got that?
I just think you can pull Katie into a fight that, if you want it to be a fight, it can be a fight. She's southpaw, she's a good body shotter, she's a strong puncher, she is relentless coming forward, and I think, you know, there's certain things that Katie, like in the Pursoon fight, the constant pressure eventually will make you tired because you're punching when you don't want to punch. I think with myself there was a couple of, you know, advantages I had from being southpaw, which Amanda will also have. But there isn't anybody that in any style that Katie hasn't fought. So it just makes for a good fight.
Final one before I let you go then, and enjoy the rest of the academy here. Women's boxing in 2021 took off with great fights. Your two with Harper and Katie Taylor. You had Shannon Courtney, Ebony Bridges. You had over in America, you had McCaskill and Breakhouse. You know what I mean? So some great fights throughout the year in women's boxing. For you, is that it now? As women boxing, we don't need to call it women's boxing anymore. We can just call it boxing, because the women have shown that they can fight, and every fight seems to be a fight of the night contender. So is women's boxing here?
Yeah, it's here to stay, and I think the fans appreciate it at its best and at its elite. I think, you know, with the easier, the big fights are easier and can be made. Everybody has seen the likes of Clarissa, Taylor, you know, and McCaskill go undisputed, and everyone wants to do it, and so everyone wants to fight everyone, which isn't always the case in the male side of the game. So yeah, I think it's here to stay, and a big marker of how progressive it has become is that when mine and Taylor's fight was announced, people were asking why wasn't it top on the bill, which just goes to show how far women's boxing has come. You know, like I say, at its best, there is no difference.
Well, I think the girls are going to get a photo, so that's probably your opportunity to leave this interview. So away you go, Natasha, and I look forward to your fight announcement. Hope it's a big one, and hopefully 2022 is your year.
Nice one.
Thank you, Tasha. Thank you.